Hello, I'm Ketty Rivera, and this is my reflection on Shigematsu, Smith, and Calhoun. Please excuse me if I'm not very upbeat right now. I've got some things on my mind, which brings me to my first reflection question uh, concerning what I've read in Calhoun. The practice that I chose to practice is mindfulness, um, because I have been in those different religions that practice mindfulness and more as a self-absorbed thing, reflecting on the now concerning me and not concerning God, but using God as the direction towards what they're what you're after with the attentiveness, but it still puts the focus on self. And so I thought it was interesting that it was in Calhoun, the question of, does this work for you as a Christian? How they use the example of Paul and what he said about eating foods or practicing Sabbaths and things of that nature. Those things resonate with me because, like I said, because I have been in those different ways of life that practice these things, and it's been a struggle for me to practice the liturgy of mindfulness and attentiveness without feeling like I'm being shifted back into things that I no longer believe or am no longer connected, attuned to, and everything. So, one of the questions, it says, when has it been easier to live your life on autopilot than to feel your thoughts and feelings? Well, that's a constant thing for me, except the fact that even when I am on autopilot, I seem to be in an autopilot in the presence of God at all times. It's like I trust that everything that I'm doing throughout the week and daily, I'm in a conversation. I'm in constant communion with Christ. So in a sense, I am on autopilot, but not against my relationship, but just even as I'm making my mistakes, I'm learning and I'm communicating. Even if I say something wrong, I'm instantly convicted by the Holy Spirit. If I do anything or anything happens out of the way, I'm connected. So I feel like I'm practicing that mindfulness and attentiveness because no matter what's going on around me, I'm still drawing my strength. I mean, drawing my strength from Christ, but also drawing my attention back to Him in everything that I do. Where am I more present to worry, regret, or fantasy futures than to God's love and care for me? I believe that the future, because of my children and the things that I want to do for them, and also as a man of God who I want to serve God in a capacity of helping people. And so I worry about those things at times, but I leave it in God's hands in the end. And this is a reminder that I have to keep on doing that. Um, so so many different questions, and like I said, I apologize. I have to reflect on some things that happened over the weekend, um, that have caused me to look at my relationship with Christ as something more urgent than even before. I'm learning to evangelize more because of because you honestly, you never know when God is gonna make a move in your life that's so drastic that it might be one of those moves that you might not come back from, and things of that nature. So I've also learned from Smith. I'm gonna. He said that Jesus is the smile of God, in page 112, and that just it gives me hope that even through all the trials that I experience as a person, as a man, I um I can count on Jesus to bring me that smile, because he reminds me that God is still with me, that God is still watching over me, that no matter what happens, he will never leave me nor forsake me. I love how he spoke on we learn how to love at home. This is a reminder that I need to be more attentive to my kids about bringing them closer to Christ. I do my best to teach them, but also because my kids are not with me 24/7. They come to see me on the weekends, so sometimes I let them just have fun and just just have fun with dad when they're dads and stuff. But this teaches me that that form of love is cool, but I also have to make sure that I establish a basis of Christ even when we're not in church, and that's what I'm learning to do. On one that was on page 113. On 133 it says to teach our children how to be sad. I really that resonated with me, because if they don't know how hard it is and how easy they have it, they cannot experience the fullness of what it is that they have to appreciate it. So that also spoke out to me. The things that we do at home literally become liturgical practices. So because of that, I'm going to start cultivating a liturgy of practice, of more Christian faith-based actions in my home with my children. A true friend, speaking of Shigematsu, page 87, it says, a true friend will name the attitudes and actions that are causing us to drift from God, even as they actively point us to God. It's important that we have someone to hold us accountable when we are drifting away from God. It's important for us to have someone that is gonna uh, uh, point us in the right direction, and when we're not going in that direction and they know it, that the love inside of them is not going to soften up and just let us just do what we do. It's actually going to bring us back into focus and say, hey, listen, you're drifting, you need to come back, you need to bring it back, and walk this path. um uh yeah, and once again, in Calhoun's book on page 116, mentions honoring God with paying attention. As a matter of fact, it's from the Introduction to the Devout Life by Saint Francis de Sales, 1567 to 1622. And honoring God with paying attention. That is something that I feel like I've cultivated that over time, as I've spoken in the beginning. Even when I'm on that autopilot, I'm always paying attention to God. I'm always talking to Him. I'm always asking Him to forgive my thoughts, to forgive the way I acted, to show me what I need to do different, to draw me closer to His Word and things of that nature. But yeah, so that's my reflection concerning the three books from Smith, Shigematsu, and Calhoun, and that's my reflection for today. God bless you.